Welcome to Selene's Gateway. Horoscopes from the Moon. It is Monday, November 17th of 2025 at 1:45 in the morning. Thank you for joining me. And as always, we're going to start with an invocation of gratitude. So sit back and relax while we bring in the spirit of gratitude. In the east, we see that the constellations of Leo and Hydra are rising. So we start with the land beneath our feet. We give gratitude to the land for supporting us all of our lives, for being the foundation that upholds us in the places that we gather under, for being the soil that nurtures all of life. We recognize her, Mother Earth, as Gaia, mother to all, birther and nurturer of all. It is through her gifts that we are blessed with these bodies that contain our spirits, and also that all of life is grateful to her, and she gives life to all without a demand of price or return. May we give as she gives. With the land, we recognize that those were here before us and were displaced by colonizing authorities. We recognize the Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, and Cathlamet, and others who thrived for time immemorial. We would like to see a just world where these lands are returned to their traditional relatives. We give gratitude to water that nurtures us and gives us strength. We have a deep gratitude for its clean properties, and we believe it is our responsibility to help ensure that clean water remains available for all, including our plant and animal relatives of the present and the future. Water is life. We give gratitude to all the plants that provide us and many more with food and shelter. We thank them for their willingness to offer healing when we are sick, and we are grateful that we still have people who know how to commune and make medicine with our plant relatives. We give gratitude to all the animals. We are humbled when they give up their lives to be food and clothing for us. We hope to see a restoration of relationships with both the plant and animal communities, that we can return to a balance and harmony. We give gratitude to the air for providing us with breath and lift. We are grateful to the spirit of breath and wind for carrying our words, prayers, and laughter on its back. We give gratitude to the sun for providing us with light and warmth. We have gratitude that the balance of power shared between Gaia and Helios can be felt through the seasons. A reminder that all things need rest as well as growth. May we also give and share our light with each other with such wisdom. We give gratitude to the stars for guiding us. We believe that as we shed and return our bodies to Gaia, our souls return to the heavens, that the heavens contain our ancestors, and that through their light provide us with wisdom, comfort, and guidance. They taught some of us the rhythm of the seasons and how to navigate across both seas and skies. And we give gratitude to the 5 wandering stars, the wild sheep of Babylon and the grahas of India. We thank them for holding, warning, and teaching us through their spheres of finality, mercy, conflict, love, and ingenuity. and we give gratitude to Selene. She maintains the waxing and waning of the great ocean as well as the generation and corruption of our lives. She softens the harsh rays, as has taught many of us the rhythm of the plant and animal communities. She is the teacher of astrology and the midwife of all who are born. May we bring comfort and guidance as she does. And so it is. And so, for today's agenda, I'm going to be sharing the next opportunity to join me in petitioning Antares with the help of Selene and some others for the acquisition of Netanyahu's capture, and that he may be tried for his atrocities and war crimes. This is a continuation of something that I started a year ago with the help of my friend Natalia of Orphic Astrology, and it's an ongoing petition. I've shared bits of it before on my page, and I just wanted to actually offer the opportunity for people to join in on the actual time. So today we're going to be covering what's a petition, what's the goal of this petition, the tools for the petition, which are minimal, and I'll show you the election, and I'll share with you the prayer that I've written for this specific petition. So let's start with what's a petition. A petition is simply a prayer or request from another entity to ask for assistance or intervention in a specific matter. You could also simply call this action a prayer. Something that's significant about astrological petitions is that we choose an appropriate time to make the request. A metaphor is that a petition is like planting a seed at the appropriate season and soil. You can also just kind of see this as setting your intentions towards the type of world that you want to live in. To be completely clear, though some may see this as a malefic or negative or dark prayer or magic, this is equal to just praying for world peace, but being very specific about how you want to achieve that goal. And so, what is the goal of this petition, if you choose to explore it with me? On the day of this petition or prayer, we are seeking assistance with the apprehension of Benjamin Netanyahu and Itamar Ben-Gvir for their continued war crimes against the people of Palestine, that they would be held accountable for their actions, that their allies would turn against them, and that their troops would refuse their orders. Petitions are a way of setting intentions of how you would like the world to be shaped. And here at Selene's Gateway, we would like to see a world without genocide. And so I feel that you can probably sense that there is a there is a goal here, that I just want people to feel comfortable with this sense of using our intention not just to benefit ourselves, but also to benefit people that we may not have access to helping, is how this is arranged. Oftentimes, the world can feel big, and the problems can feel large and out of our control. And this is a way of focusing our minds and energy in a direction that we would like to see change. And through our concentration of what that change would look like, maybe we can assist in the inspiration of creating that change in people that are closer to the situation and can help assist in those matters. You know, we can also do things like donating to charities, donating to resistance funds, and I highly recommend doing those things. But this is definitely a way of, when we're feeling powerless and overwhelmed, that we can use that feeling of powerlessness and channel it into something that is actually stronger and more helpful for both ourselves and for the people that we care about. It's fun to make fun of the concept of like thoughts and prayers, or like, oh, it's like I have you in my thoughts, or just, you know, there is a simplicity to this, but the idea is to concentrate your intention. You don't really need tools for this, but if you would like to add to the ritual aspect of it, here are some things that you can do. You can use a red or white candle as a way of initiating the moment. We're choosing red and white here because white is just a good candle for general initiation practice for any sort of intention, but red specifically because we're engaging with a sort of like warfare mentality. Red is often associated with blood and with Mars, and also with Antares, who is one of the entities we're going to be speaking to. And so red is a candle that's more singular to what we're trying to do, whereas white is more a candle that is great for the moon, which we will always be using in elected petitions, but also just a general, all of light is white, and it's when it's translated through a prism is when it's separated into its multicolored dimensions. And so white is a great color for an all-purpose intention. Other actions is you can burn some frankincense when you're doing this prayer, and I'm going to be sharing the prayer that I'm going to be using, and you can feel free to use it as well. Build a temporary altar or a consistent altar. It's up to you, depending on how you want to, if you want to integrate this into a personal practice. Selenite, moonstone, those are stones for the moon. Carnelian or red, or a red stone of some sort is really great for Mars and Antares. Sardonyx is specifically for Antares, and amethyst, especially with a red hue, is preferred for Antares. Once again, this is for a temporary time. If you just have these things around, I'm not imploring you to go out and purchase a bunch of things. Mostly it's just about being present. Iron is great for Mars and Antares, and silver is great for the moon. Water, whiskey, rum, and or coffee, these are great things to ingest while you're doing the prayer. Water specifically is, once again, kind of like a white candle, but also very lunar in the sense that, we are made of water. We can put our intentions into water. There's great studies done about how when you label water, it changes its energetic form. Whiskey and rum, those are kind of interchangeable for Mars and Antares. And then coffee is a great stimulant. Mercury is going to be involved, and Mercury loves stimulants. So, these are some of the liquids that we can ingest. And kind of what the process or concept is here is that we're attuning our energy to the energy of the moment, to the energy of the prayer, as a way of kind of planting our intention into a specific moment. Another great metaphor is jumping into the river at the right time, so that it carries you to the destination that you desire. But all in all, once again, we're all 100% a part of the universe. We don't need these individual tools in order to syncretize ourselves with the moment, but they can help hone our concentration, is what these tools are mostly for. When we say that selenite, named after Selene, is for the moon, which has a very ancient tie to it, it helps us connect our mind to a focus. And so that's what these tools are for, is to help concentrate our focus and align our relationship with the energies and the things we're trying to connect to. And finally, I already mentioned frankincense earlier. Frankincense is once again another general practice. Incense, dragon's blood, and copal are more specific for this practice, for this specific energy we're trying to dive into. But as I said before, you don't really need anything except yourself and your intention and your belief. So this is the chart of the petition. It is for Tuesday, November 18th at 8:33 in the morning for Portland, Oregon. The ascendant degree is around 10 degrees 45 minutes. This points directly at the projected degree of the star Antares. Luna is at 9 degrees and 18 minutes of Scorpio. She is fallen. She is in the 12th house, and she is receiving a trine from Saturn. These are by design. The Arabic manzil of the tropical system at this point for Luna is called Al-Qaf and is associated with the star Antares. It is a mansion that is purposefully used for uprising or for being rebellious against princes, and we have chosen this position on purpose. The point of the petition is to encourage the capture of a leader. And so we also have the sun in the 12th house where we find imprisonment. Here in Portland, Oregon, this is happening on the day of Mars during the hour of the sun, once again emphasizing this martial quality in an attempt to confine the king or a leader. These are the intentions that we're trying to align with, because the war crimes that are being committed by the state of Israel. And I make sure to be very specific about that, by the state of Israel. That is not an implication of Jewish people or even all Israeli people. That is an implication of the state organization that directs the military function that is causing the genocide in Palestine. It's important for us to be very clear about our intentions when dealing with such meticulously important matters. Honestly, though, I did not choose this chart. This is just simply the chart that has landed on the repetitive ritual process of me doing these prayers at this time. Like, I'm always choosing, every month, I'm choosing the moon in this mansion and the ascendant degree on Antares. And it just so happens that this month, this is what the chart looks like, with Mars conjoined the degree of the ascendant with Antares, that Mercury is there ruling the 10th house. This was not a designed chart. This is actually just simply the chart that would be based on the normal practice that I inhabit. And so I just want to emphasize that. And like I said, the moon is in fall on purpose because we're looking to imprison and capture a body. And we've named that body. And I've already covered everything in this slide. Except for I didn't emphasize the water trine. So once again, this is a part of an ongoing petition. The lunar mansion of Al-Qalb is meant for this type of action. Antares is a star that is meant for conflict and battle, especially as an underdog. Antares gets a reputation for ruthlessness, but that ruthlessness isn't coming from a already victor perspective. It's usually coming from an underdog perspective. The 12th house is where we find imprisonment and judgment, and also hospitals and things of that nature. If you're trying to capture a king, then having the sun in the 12th house is a great way to align a chart. Once again, I already said that it's Mars day and sun hour. We're initiating Mars. We're putting Mars on the ascendant. But we have this water trine. And this Jupiter in Cancer is overseeing the ascendant and directing especially from the Cancerian perspective, Jupiter is directing this chart from a principle of ethics and responsibility and guiding with clear intention. There is a loose contrantitia between Jupiter and Sagittarius, this ascendant specifically, and so moral guidance is implied in this chart. And I think that's what's so beautiful about this moment. Also in this water trine between the Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn, we find Saturn in the 4th. And the 4th can be reputation. And I think that this can be a good way of pointing to the reputation that we're trying to help expose or encourage to be exposed. And so now I'm going to share the prayer that I've written for this moment. Queen Artemis, Great Mother, famed huntress, sorry, I needed to compose myself. Queen Artemis, Great Mother, famed hunter, steady is your aim. Shining One, you who commune with the stellar court, who concretize our world, who gives light during darkest hours, we come to you with humble heart and mourning hearts. For the people of Palestine, Yemen, Lebanon, and Syria, for the mothers of Palestine, Yemen, Lebanon, and Syria, for the children of Palestine, Yemen, Lebanon, and Syria, please carry our petition to the heart of the scorpion as you commingle with them on this night. We call you Great Hermes, you who is nimble and quick, you who is clever with wit, you who knows locks and keys, you who knows the secrets and codes of men, you who knows the words that travel both far and wide. We call you to spill your celestial tea, to leave the web and trail of truth that may bend Benjamin Netanyahu with. We call for justice for his crimes against your children the journalists who put themselves in harm's way to bring us truth. For this we call that you scramble and expose Benjamin Netanyahu's communication. May you disrupt his travel. May you expose his finances. May you land him in the shackles he fears. May you throw away the key that binds him. Join us, carnelian, amethyst, crimson cloth, crow feathers, wax of red, wax of silver, snowdrop obsidian, and rosemary, in our petition to Ares and Antares. We call to you, Antares, the heart of the scorpion, you the whisperer of the warrior's heart in the blackest of night. We've called you the watcher of the west, one of the four kings of the night. We've called you Tahoe, the great fire. We've called you Mingtang, the temple of light. We've called you Jaesthya, the eldest of the Luna's courts and queens. We've called you Darlugal, the great one king. We've called you Zhanglong, the heart of the great azure dragon. We humbly thank you for your interference in the affairs of Benjamin Netanyahu. We bear witness to your stirring of the hearts of the international criminal courts. We bear witness to you bringing them courage to call for the arrest and capture of Benjamin Netanyahu for his crimes against the children, for his crimes against the mothers, for his crimes against the people. And now we call to you, Ares, to call forth your children from the plow and ox yoke, to call forth your children from the hammer and nail, to call forth your children of the blue collar, to call forth your children from the field and the harvest, to call forth your children from the factories, to call forth your children from the kitchens and slaughterhouses. For your children are the good and hard workers, whose sweat from the brow builds and feeds the world. We ask you to call to them. Ares, put down your tools of Demeter and Hephaestus, put down the drink offered from Dionysus. Notice the injustice being done in your name. O Ares, god of war, god of violence, god of bloodshed, we know you take no joy in atrocity. You take no joy in the slaughter of children and the innocent. You are a warrior of hard fought and hard won, the worthy victory and the worthy death. We call to you to take notice and to take your passions, shift your gaze to the atrocities of the state of Israel against the people of Palestine, even while they are supposed to be holding talks of peace. We ask on this morning, as you great azure dragon and you fierce warrior Ares rise in the east after the sun, that you take up arms together, that Benjamin Netanyahu and Itmar Ben-Gvir be brought to justice for their dishonorable butchery of the innocent. Gaze upon them and see their sadistic butchery, their dishonorable, heartless, and heinous bloodshed. We ask you to whisper to their soldiers so that they see the blood that is on their hands. Finally, we ask that their supplies of weapons of war be fractured, shattered, and destroyed. We humbly and graciously ask for your aid in these matters. Praise be to the Watcher of the West. Praise be to Ares, the god of war. Praise be to Hermes and their children. Praise be to Artemis, the huntress. And so it is. Here's a list of dates and times based on different areas across the United States. If these do not match where you live, the goal is to have a 10-degree ascendant in Sagittarius. Hopefully, with Luna past 8 degrees and 40 minutes of Scorpio. I hope that you choose to join me in this prayer. And I thank you for your time.